Hey, my name is Alzay Calhoun. You are a coach, consultant, or advisor, and you're currently asking the question, how do I use Claude Anthropic to set goals for 2026? My answer, don't start with a data dump. Start with a perfect picture. Let me explain. When I first started using Claude for goal setting, I already had a framework for annual planning. I had done it by hand for years. I'd even begun sharing my annual planning process with clients via an annual retreat. I needed Claude to help me maintain the quality of the planning process while reducing the mental load of reviewing all your notes for the entire year. By the way, if you want to skip all this trial and error and just use my updated framework for your 2026 planning, there's a free tool I created to get you started. That link is in the description. But let me tell you about the mistakes I made when using Claude so you don't repeat them. It was my understanding that if I prompted Claude right, it could analyze all my notes and tell me what goals I should be pursuing. And I was like, great, because I got a lot of notes. I got paper notes, journal notes, Apple notes, good notes, and I've got Evernote, which I'll show you in just a minute. So my plan was simple. Data dump my notes, give Claude an amazing prompt, and it will give me all my goals. That's exactly what I tried. It did not work out as expected. I went into Evernote, grabbed all of my journal entries, went to export them, took this 200-page document, and I tried to upload it into Claude. Immediately got an error. File's too big, Alzay. This moment was a pivotal lesson for me about how the AI tools actually work. You can't just dump information in it and expect magic. You've got to be more intentional and curated about the context you provide. But here's the challenge. When it comes to goal setting, how do you take everything about your life and present it in this neat little curated context document? So I'm sitting here staring at the error message. I'm frustrated. And I'm stuck. The problem wasn't that I had too much information, because there are ways to shove information into Claude if you want. The problem was I was treating Claude more like a search engine than a thought partner. If I was having a meeting with a real person that I wanted to plan things out for me, I wouldn't just dump 200 journal entries on their desk and say, tell me what to do. I would come to that meeting with a lot more precision, saying something like, listen, I'm trying to get this done personally, this done professionally. Can you help me? And that was the winning idea. Two main anchors. Everything else is noise. And now every time I talk to Claude, I start with the same core context. Let me show you. I call this the North Star concept, and it's anchored in two main areas, personal and professional. The professional anchor is a case study, an example of some of your best client work that you want to repeat. The personal section is anchored by a defining moment. This is an event or occasion that uniquely informs your personal values. Now you're telling Claude, there is a best case professional example, my case study, I want to repeat over and over and over again. At the same time, I want to stay in alignment with my personal values. Given that picture, chart my next 12 months for me. We take our North Star and we upload that. I'm going to recommend a much simpler prompt. The uploaded document contains the who, what, when, where, why, and how of my best client work. You also have background context on my personal and professional goals for the year. Please use this context to inform your response. I'm planning goals for 2026, and I want to ensure that they're grounded in what actually works for someone like me. Give me 5 business goals and 5 personal goals. Let's copy this, let's paste and see what we get. So what I'm looking for here are targets that I can attach myself to. Goals that I'm inspired by, things I actually would want to work toward in 2026. So it says develop 3 specialized business therapy case studies beyond Nicole's story. It recognizes Nicole's story and it says, give me more. Good, that's the kind of thing I'd want to do. Create a $2,500 clarity intensive as a bridge to your 10K strategy advisory work. I actually might want to do that. Build relationships with 10 fractional executive communities or masterminds. This is a community I want to serve, so that's a goal I'd want to keep. Document your 10 boxes framework through video case study walkthrough. I make YouTube videos anyway. I'm proud of the 10 boxes framework anyway. That just makes sense. Complete Ben Patrick's Knees Over Toes program and achieve a 2-minute deep squat. This is a mobility program. That's a goal I want to achieve. Establish a Friday Sabbath. I used to have that and I was really good at it, and then I got off the wagon a little bit. So good, that's a goal I want to have. Schedule quarterly personal general manager reviews to prevent 2023 style sacrifice patterns. What you may not know is that I served as general manager for a nonprofit. We raised a lot of money, held a large gala, and gave out a lot of scholarships. I'm really proud of the work that I did with that. But I also found it very exhausting. And Claude is telling me that every quarter you should review your energy level and make sure you are in alignment with your very best functioning. I take that challenge. I'm taking this goal. Now, do I have to accept all 10 of these goals? No, I don't. But I gave Claude a sense of what I'm trying to achieve, and now Claude is giving me options on the kinds of goals I can claim. Let's even go one step further. Where's that general manager goal? Let me paste it in here. I really like this goal. What monthly action plan should I follow to meet this goal? How should I measure success? Scheduling a 90-minute review session? Treat it like a board meeting with yourself. For pulse checks, mid-month adjustments, I'm even getting success metrics down here. Personal habit maintenance, sacrifice incidents. In other words, don't break your boundaries and be aware of every time that you do. But here's the major point. Claude is helping me find and follow through on the goals that matter most to me. Not this abstract idea of goal setting, not somebody else's goals. I teach this concept to my clients, and it makes planning so much more approachable and also so much more successful. You can hear it in their own words.
I'm getting one lead a week, about to close a deal with one client. Now I've probably shared $60,000 in proposals just last week. It's working. The system is working.
It is working. I too am getting a client a week, and it is working in the capacity that the annual plan is really unearthing my limiting beliefs. You're banging your head against a wall to have this limiting belief and a goal.
The new format is more of the way that I think in terms of how I need to see things all together.
It is not lost on me that one of the reasons I'm having the strides that I'm having this year is because of what we did in Mexico last year, right? It was big work that was a slingshot that pulled me back even further, right? I was already pulled, and if you do prep, but being there and being on the beach, particularly for me, had me on full David mode out the slingshot, and so that's not lost on me.
If you want to plan for your 2026, anchored in the moments that matter most to you, I created a free tool to get you started. A link to that tool is in the description. This next video on the screen shows you how to use Claude AI to identify your best clients in 2026. I'll see you there.